decided to step up and bring out the best in our country. As I said yesterday, we're in a challenging moment because when you look at the arc of American history, there's always been a push and pull between those who want to go forward and those who want to look back, between those who want to divide and those who are seeking to bring people together, between those who promote a politics of hope and those who exploit a politics of fear. And there are times, I think, where we see enormous changes taking place, economic changes, technological changes, demographic changes, and people feel unsettled. People feel scared. People get a sense that if we don't change things fundamentally, that maybe our kids won't have as bright a future as we did. People are worried about whether they're going to be able to retire, whether their child's going to be able to afford a college education, and if they do, the mountains of debt that are going to hamper them in buying that first home or starting a business. People are concerned about climate change and preserving the incredible natural beauty that California represents. People are worried about a whole range of particular issues, but I think what I said yesterday, and I deeply believe, is that there are no set of problems, there are no set of issues that we can't solve if we're working together and we're true to the traditions that are best in America. But it's always tempting for politicians, for their own gain, and for people in power to try to see if they can divide people, scapegoat folks, turn them on each other, because when that happens, you get gridlock and government doesn't work and people get cynical and they decide not to participate. And when people don't participate, then that vacuum is filled by lobbyists and special interests, and we get into a downward spiral where people get more and more discouraged and they think nothing's going to make a difference. And that, unfortunately, has been a spiral that we've been on for the last couple of years. And the only way we reverse that cycle of anger and division is when each of us as citizens step up and say, we're going to take it upon ourselves to do things differently. We're going to fight for the things that we believe in. We're going to fight for the idea that every child in America should get a decent education. We're going to fight for the idea that anybody out there who's willing to work hard should be able to get a job that pays a living wage. We're going to fight for the idea that women should be paid the same as men for doing the same work. We're going to fight for the notion that our seniors should be able to rely on Social Security and Medicare and be able to retire with dignity and with respect. We are going to make sure that the men and women in uniform who fight on our behalf, when they come home, they are not just given lip service to, but they're actually also getting the benefits and the support that they have earned. We're going to fight for the notion that we're all in this together, and that what makes America exceptional and unique is that from all around the world, people, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, generations ago, or in some cases fairly recently, came here because they believed in a certain set of ideals. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All of us created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. What that means is that we are bound not by bloodlines, not by what we look like, not by the way that we practice our faith, not by our last names, not by our sexual orientation. We are bound by a set of ideals. And finally, we are bound by the notion that this is a government of and by and for the people. We don't have a permanent elite. We don't have a situation where some are more equal than others, or some have more say in our democracy than others, or you've got to pay $1 million or have high-priced lobbyists in order to have your voice heard and your interests represented in the halls of Congress and in the White House and in the state legislature and in every office of the land. This is a government for everybody. It's not for sale. That's what we believe in. And the good news is, and the good news is that we've got candidates